So in this video, we are going to learn how to add WildApricot event registration details to Google Sheet. Now suppose guys you are hosting some events and you are using WildApricot to manage all the registration of that event. Now you want that whenever you receive a new registration for your event in WildApricot, you want to add those new registration details into the Google Sheet as a new row in real time. So let me tell you, you can completely automate this process. So the trigger of this automation will be getting a new registration in WildApricot, and action will be adding the registration details as a new row in our Google Sheet. Now guys, how you can set up this automation? To know this, you have to come with me to my screen.
So as you can see, here we are on the Pabbly Connect's dashboard. Now to reach this dashboard, you will get a free sign-up link of Pabbly Connect in the description box below. By clicking on that link, you can create your free Pabbly Connect account in just 2 minutes. And after reaching to this dashboard, just click on Create Workflow and give this workflow a name. For example, I would like to name this workflow as WildApricot to Google Sheets. And then just click on Create. Now we can see that a workflow is open over here. And in this workflow, we have 2 different windows. First one is the trigger window and second one is the action window. So triggers and actions are basically those 2 concepts, those 2 principles on which this whole automation works on, where the trigger says when this happens and the action says do this. So let's begin with the trigger window. So the idea here is, first, we have to connect our WildApricot account with Pabbly Connect so that every time a user, a customer or a client register for any event in our WildApricot account, we will get the details of that event registration inside Pabbly Connect. Then after that, using Pabbly Connect, we are going to send those new event registration details to Google Sheet and add them over there. So let's begin. Now here in Trigger window, in Choose Apps, search for WildApricot. Select it. And then in Trigger Event from the drop-down, select the trigger event as Event Registration Created or Modified. Just select it. And then after selecting a trigger event, Pabbly Connect gave us a webhook URL. Now using this webhook URL, we are going to connect our WildApricot account with Pabbly Connect. And to make this connection, you just have to follow the help text given below over here. Just copy this webhook URL from here and then just go to your WildApricot account. After reaching here, on the left side, we have an option named as Apps over here. Just click on Apps and then under Integration section, you can see Webhooks. Click on Webhooks. After clicking on Webhooks, click on Add Webhook. Give this webhook a name. For example, I'll name it as PabbCon and then paste the same webhook URL which we have copied from Pabbly Connect over here. After copying it, the next thing it asks us is the authorization. So here in authorization, we have to select None. And then in notification type, we have to select event registration as the notification type. Turn on this webhook enable button on and then just click on save. And as we click on save, we will see this webhook URL is added in our WildApricot account. So after adding this webhook URL, the connection between WildApricot and Pabbly Connect is successfully established. Now what we have to do here in Pabbly Connect, you can see it is showing us waiting for webhook response. Now this means Pabbly Connect is waiting to get some data, some response from WildApricot. So we are going to do the same. We are going to create a test submission, a test registration, a dummy event registration in our WildApricot account. So we will go to events and here you can see all the events which we have created, out of which there is an event named as Pabbly Connect. And then on the same event, for the same event, we are going to create a registration. Copy this event URL from here. Just copy it, go to the Incognito tab and paste it over here. Now after this, we are going to register. Click on Register. Enter the details of a dummy user. For example, this is the details, email address of the dummy user. Scroll down and click on Next. Now here let's enter the name and other details. For example, test user, this is the name of the person. Organization is, for example, Google, just a random response, and a phone number. And click on Next. And click on Confirm. So just now we have created a dummy registration for the event in WildApricot. And we will see as this registration is created, a new user has registered for an event in WildApricot. We will see the details of this registration will be captured inside Pabbly Connect. So we will get back to a Pabbly Connect workflow. And yes, here you can see that we have received some response. And in this response, you can see the details of this registration. So we have the message type as event registration, we have the account ID, we have the action that the event registration is being created. Then we have the registered ID. We have also have the registration ID. Like this is the event ID. Using this ID, you can retrieve that for which event the customer or the user has registered. And we have this registration ID. So here guys, in this response, you can see we have received a response for event registration. But details of the user, of the customer who has registered and the details of the event, that for which event the user has registered, we haven't received those details over here in this response. So we have to retrieve those details using this registration ID. So how you can do that? You just have to scroll down, come to our action window, and here in choose app, what we have to do, we have to search for WildApricot once again. Select WildApricot in this action event, and then in action event from the drop down, select the action event as get registration details by ID. Just select it, click on connect, and select add new connection. Now in the actions tab, once again we have to connect our WildApricot account with Pabbly Connect. And this time to make this connection, it is asking us a username and password. So here in username section guys, we have to enter API key in all caps. So in this way, you have to write API key in username as it is. And then in password, we have to generate a API key in our WildApricot account and enter it. How you can do that? Just go back to WildApricot, once again go to apps. And this time you have to go to authorize application under integrations. Just click on it. Then here click on this authorize application button. Select the application as server application type as server application. Click on continue, give this app a name. For example, I'll name it as PabbCon. This is the name of the application. Then in API key here, you can see the same API key. So before copying this API key, just give this API key the full access. Then copy this API key from here, go to Pabbly Connect and paste it over here. After pasting it, before clicking on save, what we have to do, we have to save this app as well. So just click on save. So just now within few seconds, you can see that we have created an app and authorized application inside our WildApricot account. And then after creating the app, we have received the API key. And using those API key, we are going to connect our Pabbly Connect account with WildApricot. So we have pasted the API key and click on save. And now we can see that our WildApricot account will get connected with Pabbly Connect. After making this connection, the first thing it asks us is the account ID. So it is most likely possible that you have basically created multiple accounts in your own WildApricot account. So in the drop down, you will see a list of all the accounts. Right now, I have only one account named as PabbCon. So that's why we have selected it. And then it is asking us event registration ID. That what is the registration ID of the event whose details we want to receive. So in trigger response of WildApricot, we have received this event registration ID, the registration ID. So we have to basically map this same registration ID over here. Just click on this field, and in the drop down below, you can see a list of all the responses which we have received from WildApricot. And from all of these responses, select this response of registration ID and map it. So it is this simple to map the data. And then just click on save and send test request. After clicking on save and send test request, here you can see that we have received some response. And in this response, you can see the details of the same event registration. So here we have the start date and time of the event, end date and time of the event. Then after that, we have the name of the event, that for what event this registration was done. Then we have the contact ID. We will scroll down and we will see the details of the users as well. Like we have the organization that they have entered while making the event registration. Then here you can see the first name, the last name of the user who has registered for the event. Once again, their organization, their email address, and the phone number. So in this way, you can basically retrieve all the details of the event registration inside Pabbly Connect. Now after this, what we have to do, in the final step, we have to add all of these details of a new event registration and the user who has registered for the event in a Google Sheet. For that, just scroll down, click on this Add Action Step button, and here in Choose App, search for Google Sheets. Select it. And then in Action Event from the drop-down, select Add New Row as the action event. Click on Connect and select Add New Connection. Now here guys, we have to connect our Google Sheets account with Pabbly Connect. And to make this connection, Click on Sign in with Google button. Select your Google Sheets account in which your Google Sheet exists where you want to add the data. Scroll down and click on Continue. And as we click on Continue, we can see that our Google Sheets account get connected with Pabbly Connect. After making this connection, the first thing it asks us is to select the spreadsheet. And in the drop-down below, you can see a list of all the spreadsheets which we have created in our Google Sheets account. And out of all of these spreadsheets, the spreadsheet in which we want to add these event registration details is named as event registration data. So from the drop-down, select this same spreadsheet. After selecting the spreadsheet, the next thing it asks us is to select the sheet. So in the drop-down, we can see only one sheet as sheet 1. This is because in my Google Sheet, I have only one sheet named as sheet 1. So that's why we have selected it. And after this, all the columns of data, all the headers of data which I have created in my Google Sheet, you can see all of those columns as fields over here. So one by one, all the details of event registration which we have received from WildApricot, one by one we have to map all of these details in their respective fields. So let's start with first name. Just click on this field and from the drop down from WildApricot Get Registration Details by ID Responses, select the response of first name. So here it is, just select it and map it. Then let's map the response of last name. So from the drop down, just you follow the same process of mapping the last name. Let's map the email. So this is the response of email, map it. Then let's map the organization as well. Select the response of organization. And at last, event name, that what is the name of the event for which the user has registered. So this is the response of event name, select it and map it. So in this way, you can basically map as much as data of you want of event registration into the Google Sheet. You just have to create the headers in the columns and then you will see all of those headers inside Pabbly Connect as fields and you can map the respective data in those fields. And after mapping this, just click on Save and Send Test Request. Now, when we click on Save and Send Test Request, here you can see that we have received some response. And this response seems to be a positive response to us. This response shows that the data which we have mapped over here, basically the details of the event registration which we have just now made, the test or dummy registration, is added in our Google Sheet as a new row. So let's check it. We will go to Google Sheet. And yes guys, here you can see that the same details are now added. We have the same name, same first name, last name, test user, same email address, same organization, and the same event for which we have made the registration. Now this means the automation workflow which we have created inside Pabbly Connect is working perfectly fine. And using this automation, whenever we are going to receive a new event registration inside our WildApricot event, automatically the details of that registration will be captured inside Pabbly Connect and then it will be added in the Google Sheet as a new row. So guys, after setting up this automation, let's test this automation once in real time. Once again, we are going to copy the event link and this time let's change the event. So I have an event named as integrations. Let's open this and this is the event booking link, the registration link. Just copy this link from here, go to the incognito tab once again and paste the link. So let's log out from the existing user first and then let's go to the event page. Just give me a second. Integrations and register. So right now we are going to create a new registration. For example, dummy @ this is the email address. The captcha is done. Next. Let's enter the details of a user. Dummy user. Organization is, for example, Facebook this time. Let's enter it and let's enter a phone number as well. Click on next and then click on confirm. So just now in our WildApricot account, we have received a new event registration and we will see as we receive this registration, instantly within seconds, the details of this event registration will be added in our Google Sheet as a new row. So let's go to our Google Sheet. And yes guys, here you can see that in our Google Sheet, a new row of data is added. We have the same name, dummy user, same email address, same organization, and same event name. Now this means the automation workflow which we have created using Pabbly Connect, we have tested this automation in real time and it is working absolutely fine. So not just these applications guys, you can connect plenty of other applications using Pabbly Connect. And one more important thing, you will find the clone link of the same workflow in the description box below. By clicking on that link, you can clone the same workflow into your own Pabbly Connect account and use this workflow for free. Also, let me tell you, Pabbly Connect offers you a free plan. And in this plan, you will get some free tasks every month into your own Pabbly Connect account. So if you want to try and test this automation, you can do it for absolutely free.
If you have any kind of doubts or queries, you can post them on forum.pabbly.com. So if this video was helpful to you, you can obviously like this video, comment down your suggestion, and don't forget to share it with others. So guys, that's it for today's video. Thank you. Have a great day.